guys, so man Jimmy, and welcome to the Gentleman's Cave podcast. I'm gonna be talking about a couple of reactions, my reactions to some internet moments. This is me just gathering videos and creating a reaction out of it. So enjoy. And just so you know, these claims or my statements only represent my thoughts and my thoughts only. They do not represent that of my employer or people I do business with, okay? So enjoy. I'm gonna play this video real quick of, as you can see up here on the screen, it's a guy who I believe caught his wife cheating. But from my understanding, it seems like the person that is with the wife, that's cheating with the wife, happens to be maybe an ex of the wife or a baby daddy of the wife. I'm just gonna roll the tape so you see.
What are we doing here, guys? What are you gonna prove to me? Oh, hey, I'm video recording you, buddy. Video recording you, and you got prison time, not me. Hey, Charlene, all I'm gonna say is, are you coming with me, or are you staying with this guy? Pick or choose right now. And because, you know what? We've screwed the last 2 nights. She sucked my, and professed to me that loves me and wants to be with me forever. And I have it on audio, actually. I'll send you the file just so you believe me. And she swore, you know what she said to me last night? She said, I swear on my kids' lives, Ryan, that I'm not doing anything with Stefan anymore because it was always only about his daughter, and now that that's done, we're done. But clearly that's not the case, is it, Charlie?
First of all, she's not sorry. She's absolutely not sorry. I'm gonna point out some of his moves. Some of the moves that gentleman made. That's a Mr. Nice Guy. Mr. Nice Guy. The moves he made was Mr. Nice Guy moves. The certain moves you don't take or you don't make in a situation like that. So in my lifetime, I've only been in that situation one time and twice, I believe, when I was dating back then. And I never went and confronted them. I never did that. Why would I do that? Like, if no disrespect to the ladies, but if a lady does not find me attractive or doesn't want me for whatever reasons, I'm not gonna go talk to her or even approach them. I would have an after conversation with that individual. Like, we would talk about it afterwards. That's how I ended it back then while I was growing up. This guy, him going over there and saying, first of all, saying, this is not what you said. She was with me a couple nights. She said she loved me. And the only thing she said was the daughter connecting you and her, and now that that's done with, she's done with you. And then saying to the ex, you're the one going to jail. So guys, listen. When a spouse is cheating, especially from a male perspective, if a female is cheating, and I was in that guy's shoe, or if you find yourself in that position, when you get there and you see what's happening, there is no need fighting for that marriage or that relationship at that point in time. There is just no need. There is no showboating. There is no trying to claim her, trying to tell the other guy that she loves you more than she loves him. If she loved you in the first place, she wouldn't be there. I mean, she could still love you, but if she wanted to resolve whatever stuff was going on between you two, she wouldn't be with that guy to begin with. She wouldn't be in the car with him. She would be with you, waiting for you guys to come to an agreement, seeking therapy, or trying to move the relationship or the marriage forward, whatever the case may be. She wouldn't be with that guy. So she being with that guy and you catching them red-handed, the best thing you want to do is simple. This is it. You get there, you see the guy. If, for example, you caught them doing the intimate stuff, settle down, hold your anger, witness it all. If you got a phone, record what you see. It's going to be good for you in case it goes to court or whatever the case may be. Record it. Let him know you're there. Talk to the guy. Talk to him calmly, respectfully. Why? Because on the flip side, he's doing you a favor. He is showing you what you have. Is that who you want to still be with? If that is the mother of your kids, it's gonna be really, really hurtful. I will be honest in that part. It's gonna be painful. But that's not what you want to settle on. You don't want to hold on to that pain at that point. You just want to get facts and understand the reasons behind the action. So the guy, you want to talk to him. Find out from him what's going on. Are you aware of me? Or if he denies it, don't argue with him. If he says yes, ask him, are you in love with her? And if he says yes, kudos. You don't ever want to be with someone that does not love you. Be you a man or woman. You want to be with somebody that loves you and wants to be with you. When you have those two factors, somebody who wants you, who loves you, wants you and needs you at the same time, you guys can work stuff out. Excuse me, you guys can work stuff out. If the guy says he loves her, you can either just let him pack his things and get out, depending on where you catch him. But if you catch him in your house, for example, I know it's your house, your manly ego is gonna feel trampled upon. Tell me, trust me, it's your ego is crushed. But you gotta bottle that anger and you gotta control yourself. Let the gentleman leave. If it's in a different setting, a different location, tell him you have no problem with him. Tell him you have absolutely no problem with him. Like you are cool with him. There's nothing to worry about. You're gonna find out from her if they're gonna continue this relationship. Until then, you just ask him that he gives you time to sort things out between you and her, and wish him farewell. When you do that, you've broken her already. Because women cheat for several reasons. Sometimes they cheat just to get back at you, if you're of course doing something bad to her, like cheating on her as well. She may also cheat because she's looking for validation, love, or care out there. It's something you're not giving to her. Finance, money, whatever the case may be. And thirdly, she's just genuinely in love with the guy. And she has fallen out of love with you. So you need to establish from her why she's cheating, if you do not already know. If you already know, in the case where you are cheating yourself, and then she goes and does something like that, if you still love her, then you guys want to work things out. You made the mistake. At that point, there is no ego. It's you have to fix it if you love her still. Would that memory ever get away from your head? No. But just like her, the things you've done to her sticks with her. She will never forget what you did to. You guys may never forget, but you can forgive and move on. If you didn't cheat on her, she just doesn't find you attractive. She does not. You're just not that thing anymore to her. Then you gotta get answers. And if she clearly tells you, yes, I'm sorry, I'm in love with that guy. Dude, you need to go out partying that night. I don't care if she has 3 kids for you, 4 kids, 5 kids. No, bro, you have to go out there and celebrate. You have to be with someone that values and loves you. And it is painful if kids are already involved. She's got kids for you already, and she falls out of love with you. I feel bad for you, bro, but it's not the end of the world. If she has no kids for you, best gift ever. Let her go, settle everything out of the way, bid her farewell, and move on with your life. Take it easy. If you need to seek therapy, seek therapy. If you need time off, just like athletes or sportsmen, there was a window where there's no, at that point there's no contract. It's called free agency, and they're literally free, no obligations to any club or whatever. At that point, you're a free agent. You have no obligations. So what should you do? Go out there to the dating pool, date as many as you can, find the right one, and if you choose to want to settle down. And if you choose the other route of not settling down, let the girls or let the ladies know, hey, I'm not looking for a serious relationship. This is what I'm looking at. Wherever you go, there are people out there that will match you. Just so you know. But getting into a physical fight, or I'm sorry to say, being a wimp like this gentleman, he's not gonna get that lady back. Even if you did get her back, you are still a wimp. In fact, your wimp level has gone to, should I say, X raised to the power of 500, because now she sees you completely different. She doesn't even see you as the wimp you were before. She sees you as trash. As a man, you gotta uphold your standards. A woman cheats on you, if it's your fault, find a way of making sure things work out. If she still loves you and if you still love her. If she's just getting back at you over some petty stuff, bye-bye. If she's cheating on you because she doesn't love you, good for you. She just showed you your true colors. Bye-bye. Get that, guys. Never settle with a woman who cheats on you. The only reason you would do that is if you still love her, she still loves you, and it was an error, bad decision that came out of it, then you guys can work things out. But if none of that exists, even if she has kids for you, bye-bye. I'm gonna take you out to the next reaction of one of the videos I also found that is worthy of conversation. Now this one is very, very funny. Watch.
This might be controversial, and I really don't care. I don't mind a little, I don't date men that didn't grow up with their fathers. I just don't. It's always outliers. There's always exceptions to the rule. But the rule is a rule for a reason. And the rule dictates that if he did not see his father being a father, what are the chances that he's going to be a positive role model for his kids? What's the chances that he's going to be a husband if he's never seen what a husband looks like? I've done it before. I've dated guys that didn't have their dads, and it was not a positive experience. When I recognized that, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to date a guy that didn't grow up with his dad anymore. Positive. And that's the thing too. I think so many women are so afraid of setting a standard because it's going to eliminate a lot of men. But it doesn't matter if it eliminates most men, because you're not dating or marrying most men. You're only dating or marrying one man. I think elimination is your best tool. Oh yeah. Have high standards so that you eliminate most. So then you don't have to go through your entire 20s, your 30s dating every single man.
It's an important standard, and I love that it's your preference. But man, that would cut out a lot of people. But I'm also nervous, like, would it cut out 95% of black men? But here's the thing, I don't know the stats, so y'all don't kill me about it, but I really would like to know the stats of how many men grew up in a two-parent household. I'd be curious to know, or grew up with their fathers.
The last question the lady just asked the host about that cutting off 95% of black men. That's a bombshell. That question is a real bombshell. Saying that and saying 95% of black men. Well, in as much as I'm an African, I'm now an African American. That's shameful. but not shameful on the black man, but shameful on the culture that even a black lady would say that with pride and say, but statistics shows that 95%. We gotta do better as a black race, man. Like, we gotta stick it together. And don't get me wrong, it's not only by crime or whatever that makes a family go apart. No, there's several other reasons. But I just feel like people don't value children like that. Like I value, or like I see couples who are together, even the black couples and white couples who are together, and choose to be with one another for that long. The way they value kids and value that unity between them and the spouses, I don't think that 95% she was talking about value kids that much. Because growing up as a child and coming from a family that the parents were separated, I kind of understand where she's coming from. I have some likeness and some dislikes as to where the lady who was being asked that question is coming from. So bear with me. I think I have a right to speak on this topic. Having grew up with majority of my growing life back in Nigeria with my dad, with his second wife, I can speak on this, and not growing up with my mom at all. My mom left very early, and I didn't even get to spend like 2 nights with my mom for like majority of my life, even up till now. So I know what it's like to not have a mom around and missing out on that. So I can also speak on those who didn't have a father. But what I've come to realize when it comes to growing up without any of your parents is there are truth to this and there are false narratives to this. So I'm gonna talk on the truth. I wrote some stuff down. The truth to it is, if you have a father in your life or a mom, they do serve as role models, and that is very true. Your dad being in your life is that shining armor, is that example. Like, while I was growing up, my dad was a naval officer in the Nigerian military, and he would wear his white on white. And when I saw him, I was relieved. There was this sense of relief in me. Like, he was like a demigod to me. The good things that I saw him did, I'm like, I want to be like that. My dad used to smoke back then. Even smoking, I was like, I want to smoke too, because just seeing him smoking was cool. Even though I never smoke, I don't smoke. Never smoke, I don't smoke. But that's how much of a role model a parent can be. I just loved everything about him. I was too little then to comprehend his negative sides or his mistakes in regards to family. I was too little then, so I didn't see anything wrong with him. And that's what a parent stands for in the life of a child. You are that shining armor. You are that sunlight they look at that brings so much light into that darkness. Because little kids, their experiences in life are like it's like a canvas, and the parents just paint on it, and whatever image those parents are exhibiting is what gets painted on the perceptions of these children growing up. So you having your father, especially your father in your life, it plays a huge part for a son or a daughter. Same goes with a mom. A mom's tender love and care for a child goes a long way. It goes a long way in making them a better person and creating empathy. So empathy is something that a mother genuinely brings to the table in the life of a child, in a marriage, in a home. The mom is that soft, understanding person that the kids can always go to. When dad is saying, no, this is it and that's it, mom can go back and talk to kids or talk to dad into agreeing and bringing them together. That's the purpose of a mom. So yes, parents are role models, and not having either of them in your life, it's painful. and I know what it's like speaking from experience. But what's false about this is, for those who grew up with parents who were deadbeat dads, so you had your father who was always beating your mom, and you started to grow and you started to understand these situations, and you know within your heart that's not a good example. Why is dad always beating mom? Why is dad so physically abusive, mentally abusive, verbally abusive? Or why is dad such a rogue, just doesn't care? Or maybe dad is into crime, for a living, doing drugs, or whatever the case may be. It lies a lot on that child as they grow up to pick what's right for them. So if you have a deadbeat parent, yes, you do have a parent, yes, they're present, but a lot lies in you. What choices do you make? Do you want to be like them, or you want to be better off? I have seen people who made bad choices and just emulated their parents, and today is affecting their lives forever. And there are some who didn't emulate or didn't imitate their parents and said to themselves, no, I cannot be like that man, I cannot be like that woman, I will be better. And they made better decisions. So yes, they could be role models. On the other hand, it's your choice to determine how much they impact your life. Another thing about another positive of having your parents in your life, or your dad, your father in your life, is them serving as a guard to you. They guide you. They help you make right choices as you grow up and become an adult. Even in adulthood, if you still have your parents alive, they are that one factor that you can go back to and have conversations with and say, hey, dad, mom, I need advice on this. Well, I know it depends on the kind of relationship you have with your kids, but your presence as a parent will serve that purpose of being that guide. You're not going to be alive and watch your kids make bad decisions. Yes, children are going to make bad decisions. It's called experience. They have to go out there and get experiences. But you want to make sure those experiences are not life-threatening and are more positive impacting. And that's where a parent comes in. So yes, having a father in a man's life, or having a mom in your life as a woman, is very, very critical, in that they guide you right. On the contrary, where they are not there and there's no one to guide you, it is very impactful. It is very, very impactful. I can speak to it. There's some things I struggle with. I could attribute a lot of those to my mom not being present in my life for that long. And not like my mom is dead, no, mom is alive, but due to that separation and divorce, there are certain things that I now know I would have known back then. My wife has served as both a mother and a wife to me. And unfortunately, there were experiences she had to go through with me. And it kept her wondering, why does this guy have this trait? So why is he doing this? And I had to come out clean and say, hey, for a long period of time, I didn't have my mom. So some of these things you're doing or saying or that we are experiencing is new to me. So yes, one has to really figure out where one stands when it comes to things like this. And also, essence of life, having your father around you or your mother around you is just the essence of life. That's what we live for. You're born as a kid, you want to grow up in a happy home, in your family unit. It just makes life more interesting, Your parents attending your soccer games, your sport games, your first injury, they're there to help you, your first bruise while riding your bike, or whatever the case may be. Having your parents there in your life is just an essential part of growing up. So kudos to the parents who regardless of the tribulations and difficulties in the marriage setting or in life in general, still held on to that marriage, to that union, to that love. Kudos to you guys. That's what every child needs. You gotta put your selfish reasons or your selfish thoughts aside and just make it work. Are we all prone to mistakes? Yes, we're all gonna make mistakes. I hope that you guys find forgiveness in your marriages and forgive one another. But what she said, I agree to it, and I will give my agreement to it about 80%. But the remaining 20% lies a lot in the individual. You have to make your choices. You have to decide your own destiny, regardless of your parents or your father or your mother being in your life. And she saying that she uses that as a guide to determine who she dates, an elimination process. I disagree a lot with that part, because who that individual ends up or turns out to be really depends on their choices. So I've made better choices to never, like for example, never raise my hands on a woman. Why would I do that? Yes, I did have little fights with my elder sister when we were growing up. She was just a bully in my life, and I had to set her straight while growing up. I'm talking about when I was like adolescent, very little guy. But I've never raised my hand on a woman, even after that period of time till now. Regardless of whatever I might have faced in the hands of any person, I have never raised my hands to touch a woman. That was a personal choice that I made. So she saying a lady should eliminate based on that factor, I disagree. You want to eliminate based on the person's personality, what they bring to the table, what have they learned to shed off, what good attributes have they learned to put on themselves. That's a huge factor. Those are the type of things you want to use as a criteria to make a judgment on if to be with somebody or not. So yeah, I agree with the statement that fathers with grown-up guys without fathers is difficult, but I disagree as using that as a selection process for a woman. Women don't do that. You don't need to do that. Have a relationship with someone based on their personality. Scrutinize them based on what you need as a woman, what you desire in the life of a man. You're the father to your kids. And if they don't have those criteria, whether they have a dad or not, then you go ahead and make the right choice. Having said that, guys, this is where I bring a close to this episode of Internet Moments. I'm going to be dropping more videos just like this, reacting to things I see or come across, and use that as a learning or as a teaching moment. So thank you guys for staying tuned. Please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. I'm putting this on my YouTube channel. Please go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to give a UFC breakdown pretty much soon of the UFC 305 coming up. It's going to be pretty simple, just a summary of what I think is going to happen. I hope you enjoy it, and stay tuned. Have a good one. Bye-bye.